Good afternoon. The committees on Water and Land and the Committee on Ways and Means. It's on its hearing notice Thursday, March 3rd at 1 p.m. in room 211. Just some housekeeping announcements. Aloha. And we'd like to mention that this meeting, including the audio and video of remote participants, is being streamed live on YouTube. You will find links to viewing options for all Senate meetings on the live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website and on the link posted on the hearing notice. For the testifiers participating remotely, your audio will be muted and video disabled until shortly before it is your turn to testify. And we do have time limits per testifier of 2 minutes. Okay. And today's agenda is with reference to SB 3225 relating to dam and reservoir safety. This establishes the dam and spillway loan and grant programs for plans, designs, construction, and equipment that is used to improve deficient dams and spillways as determined by the Department of Land and Natural Resources and approved by the Board of Land and Natural Resources. Requires private dam and spillway owners to be licensed to conduct business in the state, establishes the dam and spillway improvement tax credit for expenditures for dam and spillway improvements that bring dams and spillways up to code. We have before us the Committee on Water and Land, myself. We do have a Vice Chair, Gil Agaran. We have member Senator Revere, and we do have Senator Misalucha on video, and in Zoom land somewhere, Senator Favela. We don't see him yet. You want to introduce your members?
Well, I think we have 6 members present.
Okay, all right. All right, testifying for DLNR. Cardi, are you representing agency today?
Yes, I'm representing DLNR. Okay, good afternoon. Aloha, Chair Zinoy Dela Cruz, Vice Chair Keith Agron, and members of the committee, Cardi Chang, Chief Engineer, on behalf of Chairperson Suzanne Case. We stand on our written testimony in support and offer comments. I do want to emphasize a few points in our testimony. We recognize that dams can pose a significant hazard to the community when they're not in compliance, regardless of whether they are publicly owned or privately owned. We also recognize that dams provide many beneficial uses and that it may be in the state's best interest to make these dams safe so they can continue to provide the public benefits while also reducing the risk of a dam failure. We understand that publicly owned dams have access to public funds, while privately owned dams may not have the same resources available to them, which may be one of the major obstacles for a private dam owner. We do note that over 70% of the regulated dams in Hawaii are privately owned. The department offers the committee suggestions to develop some level of qualification criteria for these grants or loans. If the legislature intended to assist private dam owners to improve their dams to continue to provide public benefit or beneficial uses, we would suggest excluding removal of a dam from qualifying for financial assistance. Although removal of a dam provides the safety aspect, we raise the concerns whether or not the legislature wanted a wider public benefit, such as providing ag water, recreation, or flood control, which would not be realized if you remove the dam. We also recommend that the financial benefits of this program be limited to high hazard or significant hazard dams, as these dams pose the most risk to life and property. To have this be a successful program, the grants or loans must be seeded with sufficient funding and continually replenished with adequate funds to ensure we can sustain the program and provide as much opportunity to private dam owners. And finally, and very importantly, is that the department is going to need resources to establish and administer this program. We do provide a position count in our testimony and some operating funds we would need to stand up this program. And we also want to emphasize that this program is going to need specific discipline. So we did give you guys the specific position titles we need, and we won't be able to successfully perform this function without these resources. I'm
Thank you,
available for
Marty.
questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Cardi. Representing the Attorney General, Linda Chow. Linda Chow, are you? Oh, I see you. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, Chair Zinoy and Dela Cruz and members of the committees. I'm Deputy Attorney General Linda Chow. I have submitted written testimony in which I've provided comments regarding the bill. In particular, the comments refer to the grant program portion of the bill. One of the concerns that we had is that in grants of public money should be made pursuant to standards and qualifications that are in the statute. And so in the testimony, I have provided a set of example standards and qualifications which could be incorporated into the bill to achieve the purposes of this program. I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tom Yamachika, testifying for Tax Foundation of Hawai'i. Anyone else wishes to testify? Members, comments or questions? Senator Revere.
Thank you. Thanks for Cardi, maybe. Aloha. The bill envisions grants of an unspecified amount, and I'm just wondering what's the range of money that might be appropriate for the purposes of this act.
We did provide,
Oh,
we provided some recommendations in our testimony, and that's essentially going to start off the program. But as you know, dam improvements, it's all dependent on the amount of deficiencies that exist in each dam. But we know for a fact that to bring a dam into compliance could cost millions of dollars. So we just want to make sure that there's sufficient funds available and there's the widest opportunity for dam owners to apply for these grants.
right. So we see the 300,000 to manage the program, but the loans and the grants and things, I mean, what's it cost to do these kind of studies?
Again,
That is.
it's all dependent, but I think we included in our testimony, we recommend seeding the revolving fund with $15 million.
And would that, that would serve how many of these projects?
They don't know
We
because
don't-
it's who applies.
So it could be 5 million, it could be 15
It
million.
depends, and
whatever.
once it's out, it's out
Yeah.
until we
recharge it.
reallocate every year.
Okay, just trying to get, thank you. Thanks, Cardi, thank you, Chair.
This is great too, because we've never had a loan agreement before. Exactly. Okay, any further questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Senator Algaran.
So Cardi, I think I've had some discussions with you in the past about remedying some of the dams on Maui. And I think the estimate that you provided, at least for doing the initial studies, SMA permits and the like, could range between $100,000 and $200,000. So that's around the range of at least that cost for under this program. Is that right?
I believe that is correct. That is just the studies and excludes construction and design costs.
But that gives you at least, I think gives the committee at least an idea of what would happen if, if you wanted to do that with one of the dams here on Oahu, that you'd probably be looking at something like that.
Yep, and let me point out that if you remove a dam versus you rehabilitate it for future use, it's different costs to design and to plan it. Removal is a lot simpler and probably less studies are needed. But if you want to rehab the dam to continue the beneficial uses, it may cost more.
I have a question.
Yes, Senator Morikawa.
Cardi,
Sorry.
yeah, Cardi, you say that there are 93 dams. Are all of these in areas that need to be fixed or are hazardous? And that's number one. And number two, are the owners of these dams willing to put in some money, or are we going to fix them all because we need to? There are
I
quite a
think
few dams.
Yeah, the 93 dams are the ones that are privately owned, and there's many dam owners that are very proactive. And especially the ones that do have the financial means, they are moving forward. So it's a certain type of dam owner that may not have the means to the financial wherewithal to do this. I don't know the exact percentage, and Edwin Matsuda, my dam safety engineer, may have more ideas on which ones are really moving forward because they have the financial means versus others that are struggling. Do you kind of know, I don't know, what percentage of the 93 that are kind of struggling?
I don't know the exact number of the 93% for the
estimate.
93 dams that are privately owned, but roughly 70 to 80% of the dams in the state have a poor ranking right now as far as condition. So there are outstanding deficiencies that we're working with the owners to remediate. And so a good percentage of the private structures would probably be in that mix.
And so you folks are just helping those that don't have the means by which to fix these dams, or it can be phased in. I mean, so these are the critical
I think
ones.
at this, yeah, I understand the question. I think at this point in time, you know, there hasn't been much thought as to what criteria or prioritization would be allowed, or how we would actually do the selection for which projects would move forward. I think we could entertain that into some kind of policy on how we would assign out the funding from this program.
Because if we don't help them, it won't be fixed, and then we'll have problems like we've had, like on Kauai and so forth. Is that correct? That
I think
we
there
really
are
should be
varying,
fixing?
I believe there are varying,
Outcomes.
yeah, every situation is different. There are a lot of, like Cardi had mentioned, there are several large landowners who do have the means, who do utilize these structures as part of their operations. And so it's vital that they maintain them. So they are working on a plan to rehabilitate these structures as they go along. But there are other owners and other structures that may not have uses that would fund the necessary improvements. And so they would probably be the ones that would be seeking this type of funding.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Yep, Chair.
Just real quick. So Edwin, some of the landowners are actually small landowners or longtime Kama'aina families that may have the property, but they don't have the income to fix the well. Is there a small percentage of that, or do you know the overall percentage?
Correct. There are some of these dams that have been previously sugarcane reservoirs, but have subsequently been turned into subdivisions that have developed around them, and they now utilize them more for recreational purposes. And so they probably would not have the means to do major reconstruction work on these types of improvements. Or they would probably be the ones that would want to seek this kind of funding. Can't say that they don't have the means, but and then we anticipate there would be roughly a low percentage, maybe 20 of those structures, less than 20 of those structures, 10 to 20 that might be in that category.
And most of them would be considered reservoirs and are used by farmers such as those in Pawilo and Honaka'a as well. Those old plantation ones, yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. Any further discussions?
No, I just want to say right now, Cardi, you guys only have a stick, right? So you guys go around, you issue fines, but then there's no way that you can really provide assistance to people to fix the dam. So now you would be able to have both a carrot and a stick.
Yeah, this is definitely a tool in our toolbox to assist the dam owners bring their dams into compliance.
Okay, thank you.
Just
Thank you.
one last question.
Sure, Senator Agaran.
Well, it's more of a statement, Cardi, but I hope that when you're looking at maybe setting some criteria on who should get priority for this assistance, is you keep in mind those that have the resources. I'm sure that they're the ones that could probably benefit from taking loans as opposed to grants. And then the smaller landowners probably are the ones that should be getting grants.
Yes. Point taken, Senator.
And a work in progress. Thank you. Members, any further discussions? Otherwise, Chair Dela Cruz, I think we've had input from the agencies as well. So I don't believe that we need to get into a recess mode. So what the chairs do recommend that that we adopt this current measure as the one before us. And certainly we thank the Attorney General for her input. So we'd like to adopt the Attorney General's proposed amendments. And secondly, we'd like to and thank DLNR and all the work that's been put in it and their cooperation in we'll adopt the DLNR's proposed amendments. And certainly we'd like to add that we'll blank the appropriation as recommended by DLNR and the positions as well. Defect the date to July 1st, 2050. Any discussions? Members of the Water and Land Committee, Chair's recommendation then to pass SB 3225, the proposed SD1 with amendments. Any discussions? Hearing none. Vice Chair for the vote.
Chair
Chair
Inoue,
goes aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Misalucha,
Aye.
Senator Rivera,
Aye.
and Senator Favela, I believe, is excused. Recommendation adopted.
Ways and Means,
Thank
same
you.
recommendation. Chair votes aye.
Vice Chair, okay. Senator Inoue,
Aye.
Senator Kanuha,
Aye.
Senator Kidani,
Aye.
Senator Misalucha,
Aye.
Senator Moriwaki,
Aye.
Senator Wakai,
Yes.
and all other members are excused. Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. This concludes then the Joint Committee on Water, Land, and Ways and Means. Thank you, folks.